Good evening, live from the Sultanate of Oman television. Here we present to you tonight's news bulletin. First, the headlines. The Oman Food Investment Holding Company signs a number of agreements and contracts for new projects. More than 47,000 students start general education diploma exams. And more than 27,000 male and female citizens are employed in private sector's institutions since the start of 2019. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sends a cabal of condolences to His Majesty Sultan Abdullah bin Sultan Ahmed Shah, King of Malaysia, on the death of former Malaysian King Sultan Ahmed Shah. His Majesty the Sultan sends a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Asias Afwerki of Eritrea on his country's Independence Day. Oman Food Investments Holding Company signed a number of agreements and contracts for new projects. The company signed a financing agreement with Bank Nizwa with a value of 18 million Omani Riyals. The company is currently in collaboration with private sector, the pension funds, as well as other local investment funds. Moreover, the company signed agreements for construction services and renewable energy for An-Nama Poultry Company. It also signed agreements for Al-Bashair Meat Company for civil construction and electrical works. All projects are expected to be completed by early 2021. The signing ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Saeed Al-Aufi, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, and the Chairman of Oman Food Investments Holding Company. More than 47,000 students started their final stage in their school life and took their second semester exams today. The examination will take place during the period from May 23rd until June 16th in 337 examination centers, which the Minister of Education prepared with all necessary services that would help students in taking their examination in an environment free from tension and anxiety. Before the exam, students were given a manual which explains examination instructions, guidelines, and process. After the examination period, the evaluating process will take place starting from May 26 until June 23rd. More than 27,000 male and female citizens were employed in private sector's institutions since the start of this year. The Minister of Manpower seeks to continue providing employment opportunities for the job seekers in various institutions of the private sectors. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi has more details in this report.
Efforts have been exerted to provide employment opportunities for citizens in various private sector institutions and enabling Omanis to replace expats in many professions through a range of government policies, such as Omanization rates in economic sectors, banning some professions for non-Omanis, and giving incentives for committed institutions.
With the initiatives laid down by the Ministry of Manpower, the civil service, the government, in encouraging youth to join the private sector, there has been a remarkable change in the mindset of the new job seekers in working with the private sector. So I think a culmination of two things: one, opportunities; number two, a set of mindset changes has made this much more workable in a win-win situation for both a job seeker and an employer.
A number of economists confirmed that the success of Omanization and employment programs require doubling the efforts in providing an attractive work environment for the national workforce, developing legislations, and strengthening education and training plans.
To improve Omanization, there are some steps that could be done immediately. We can increase numbers and increase quality. To increase the numbers, we suggest that every establishment or company who employs more than 10 people should have a file in the Social Security. In other terms, they should employ one Omani or more. At the moment, we have 250,000 companies registered with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and yet there's only about 17,000 companies that are registered. In other terms, only a small part employ one Omani and more. And this should stop. The second thing is that we should implement and apply the law to everybody in the same sector.
The employment programs have secured more than 27,000 opportunities for citizens in private sector institutions in the country since the beginning of this year until this month. The sectors of construction, sales, distribution, and industry accounted for 58% of the number of employees who joined the private sector during this period. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Still to come in our news bulletin. As-Sarrani Majlis in the Wilaya of Bremi is considered one of the gathering places for citizens during the holy month of Ramadan. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Sultan's armed forces with its various divisions and units marked the Greater Battle of Badr. The morale guidance, the Chief of Staff Command of Sultan's Armed Forces, organized a religious celebration at Al-Murtafa Camp Mosques. It included a lecture on these great occasions. The event was presided over by Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces. A similar celebration was held at al-Gawarif Camp Mosque in the Governorate of Dhofar through a lecture that talked about this occasion and its positions in the hearts of Muslims. The lecture also highlighted the need to instill the right Islamic identity on current and future generations. The Bank Muscat signed an agreement with the Omani Lawyers Association to close 220 insolvent cases during this holy month. More details in the following report by Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
220 insolvent cases will be closed in this holy month of Ramadan as Eid al-Fitr is approaching, according to the agreement signed between Bank Muscat and the Omani Lawyers Association. Bank Muscat will provide financial support to deal with the financial claims arising from the insolvents who were imprisoned on commercial, civil, labor, or Sharia cases as part of the 6th edition of the FEC Korba project, which is organized by the Omani Lawyers Association in collaboration with the Ministry of Social Development and the Council of Administrative Affairs for the Judiciary.
We at Bank Muscat are very proud and privileged to be partaking and participating in such a humanitarian initiative undertaken by the Association for Omani Lawyers to provide relief and to directly support the release of those who have been imprisoned due to financial obligations. We're extremely proud that this is the second year that we do this initiative in association with the Association for Omani Lawyers.
It is worth mentioning that more than 1,715 cases have been released since the inception of FEC Korba project, which reflects the success of this humanitarian initiative that's implemented by voluntary lawyers, the number of which has reached more than 100 volunteer lawyers in the current version of the program. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Salih bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Thank you, Saleh. Ramadan Majlis is one of the main features of cities and villages of the Sultanate. In these places, people gather to break their fasting and organize some activities. Sarrani Majlis in the Wilaya of Bremi is one of them. It brings together many citizens and Muslim communities from various countries in the Wilaya to break their fast. It also included some social activities for children and non-Arabic speaking expatriates who got acquainted with the Omani culture and traditions. And now here are the Ramadan times for tomorrow. Fajr prayers at 3:57 a.m. and Maghrib prayers at 6:51 p.m. And now direct, let's move to the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates with chances of low clouds and fog over the coast of the Arabian Seas. Winds will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. More details on your screen. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Oman Food Investments Holding Company signs a number of agreements and contracts for new projects. More than 47,000 students start general education diploma exams. And more than 27,000 male and female citizens are employed in private sector's institutions since the start of 2019. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and Ramadan Mubarak.